Hey guys, for this video upload I thought I would do a magic trick with tissue paper. Now, some of you may have a box of tissue paper in front of your computer, some of you may not. That's really your business. I have a box in front of mine, and I'd like to use just one piece to do a trick called the torn and restored tissue paper. And as you might imagine, this involves what looks like tearing the tissue into a lot of pieces, but really it's an illusion. It may look like the tissue's being torn, it may even sound like the tissue's being torn, but as you can see, or as you will see, there really was no tearing going on at all. It's important for this trick that we compress this into as tight a ball as possible. And as you can see there, we've got a pretty small ball. All right, and then we take the Morgan silver dollar, which because it's made out of silver has magical properties. We touch it to the torn pieces of paper, and if we've done this right, they should fuse back together so that we've got a completely restored piece of tissue paper. Now, as the title suggests, I'm going to show you how to do this through a tutorial, so if you don't want to know how this is done, if you don't want to spoil it, you should turn off the video now. Okay, those still with me? Here's how it's done. You're going to use, as you might guess, two pieces of tissue paper, one that's torn up and one that's restored. So before the trick starts, you're going to go ahead and in secret roll up a piece of tissue paper into a ball like this, okay? And you're going to hold it in your right hand. Now, you're not going to hold it with your fingers. You're going to do something we magicians call palming. You're going to press it into the palm of your right hand, kind of grip it like this, right? And you're going to hold your hand in a very natural position, okay? So that no one would ever guess that you have something there, okay? Then you grab a piece of tissue paper out of the box and you say, I'm going to do a magic trick, the famous torn and restored tissue paper. Be careful not to flash this when you're doing it. Go ahead and rip this up into lots of little pieces, okay, and bunch them up in your hand. Talk about how it's not really being ripped, how it's just an illusion and so forth. Again, being very careful not to flash the restored piece, okay? And then you'll notice that I kind of took my hand and squished them like this, right? That's because for this trick you have to transfer the restored pieces from your right hand to the palm of your left hand, okay? So when I reach over to do that, okay, you can see it again. Reach over to do that, I deposit that in my hand as I'm kind of squishing these down, okay? And you squish the pieces together as tightly as you can. I like to show them to the screen, you know. This really is squished tight. Then I made a big deal of reaching for this coin. I even shook it around a little bit, and that's in magic what we call misdirection. I want you to look over here because while you're doing that, it only takes a split second, I did this. Okay? Now what I did is I switched. These are the torn pieces now, and this is the restored piece. Okay, here, I'll show you one more time. So these are the torn pieces of paper. I reach for the coin, and as you're looking at the coin, I very quickly do the switch. And you don't even really notice it because of the misdirection. So then after the misdirection, you give a little blow on it or whatever kind of magical thing you want to do. Don't show the torn pieces. And you unroll it, and you show that the tissue paper has been restored. Okay, that's the trick. Now this does kind of leave you with these torn pieces in your left hand. It's not super clean. Some magicians will find a way to put them in their pocket when no one's looking. I find the best way to deal with the torn pieces is to give them a little blow and unroll them out as well, so that they appear as restored too. Because then if someone discovers them in your hand, it's not going to be like, well, you were trying to hide the torn pieces. Okay, I think that makes the effect much better. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll subscribe, and in addition to subscribing, remember, even if you've subscribed, if you haven't pressed that little bell button in the lower right hand corner, you're not going to be notified of every trick upload that I do. So if you want to know of them all, be sure and press that button. Thanks again.